All right, today we're doing something pretty cool. We're going to take the power of AI, yank it right out of the cloud, and put it directly on your desktop. We're diving into LM Studio, an app that promises to give you a local-first experience with large language models. So let's get into it. You know, when you're using most AI tools, you're tapping into these massive corporate servers, right? It's all happening in the cloud. But what if you didn't have to? What if you could run those same powerful models, but keep it all secure and private right on your own machine? That's the big question we're tackling today.
Well, that's where LM Studio comes in. It's this desktop app from a company called Element Labs, and it's all about putting you back in the driver's seat of your AI experiments. So let's peel back the layers here. What is LM Studio really? Let's dive into what makes it kind of like your own personal AI playground.
Okay, so at its heart, LM Studio is all about one thing: running these big, powerful, large language models, LLMs, locally. The source we're looking at calls its interface IDE-like, and that's actually a perfect way to describe it. Think of it like a coding environment for a developer, but instead of writing code, it's built for having these detailed, logged conversations with an AI.
Now, obviously, the heart and soul of any AI setup is the model itself. So the big question is, how do you even get these models into LM Studio? Let's check it out.
This is where LM Studio really starts to shine. It's clear they put a ton of thought into the user experience right from the get-go. They've streamlined the whole setup so you can just get going, you know? No wrestling with complicated command line stuff. And the process for getting a model, it's ridiculously simple. Step 1, you search for models right inside the app. Step 2, and this is a really clever feature, you can filter them based on how much memory your computer has. That way you're not downloading something that's just going to grind your machine to a halt. And step 3, you find one you like, you click download. That's it.
See, the whole shebang happens right there, inside the app. You can browse this curated list, keep an eye on your downloads, and totally skip the headache of manually moving these giant model files around. It just makes the whole thing so much more approachable, especially if you're new to this.
All right, so you've got your model downloaded. Now for the fun part, actually talking to it. Let's take a look at the chat interface, which is really the core of the whole experience. And what you see is super clean, really functional. It's designed to just get out of your way and let you focus on the conversation you're having with the AI. No extra fluff, no clutter. But simple doesn't mean powerless. This interface actually gives you a ton of control. You can easily swap between different models you've downloaded. You can fine-tune performance settings for your CPU and GPU. Plus, you get all these handy features like having different conversations in separate tabs, dragging and dropping local files right into the chat, and even a running count of your tokens.
Okay, so here's where things get interesting. LM Studio is this weird mix of some really powerful advanced features and some other parts that feel, well, surprisingly underdeveloped. Let's dig into that contrast.
For developers, this is huge. LM Studio isn't just a chat app, it can also act as a local server for your models. This is a game changer because it means you can build other applications that tap into the AI models running right there in LM Studio. And through that server, you get a whole lot of power. There's a proper REST API, it's compatible with other big AI endpoints like Anthropic's, and you can even define your own custom tools for the model to use. This is what lets you build what the source calls complex agentic behaviors, which is a fancy way of saying you can create some really sophisticated, automated workflows from the ground up.
So that API, it's powerful, it's flexible, it's awesome. But when you look at the app's built-in way of adding tools and integrations, yeah, that's where the shine really starts to come off.
And the source material we're looking at doesn't pull any punches here. It says, and I'm quoting, "There is currently no automated mechanism for adding integrations. It works, but it's clunky, and it makes that part of LM Studio feel primitive. And for a developer, that's a big deal, right? It just slows everything down and makes building cool, complex tools a tedious, frustrating process."
So we've seen the good, we've seen the not so good. After walking through all these features, what's the final verdict on LM Studio?
Let's just break it down real quick. On the good side, you've got a really clean design, model management is an absolute breeze, and it's genuinely useful right out of the box. But on the not-so-good side, those integrations are a totally manual process, the built-in tool roster is pretty thin, and, this is a big one, it's not open source.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. The fact that LM Studio is closed source is something you really have to think about. I mean, the app is free for now, but who knows what their business model will be down the road. Plus, the community can't look at the code or help improve it, and for a lot of people in the AI world, that's a major red flag.
So in the end, LM Studio is this really fascinating trade-off, isn't it? It gives you so much convenience and power, especially just for getting your feet wet. But it comes with these real limitations on the advanced side and this big question mark about its future. So the question it really leaves us with is, for your own personal AI lab, is this promising but imperfect tool the right fit for you?